where machines are taking over routine tasks, creativity is what truly sets us apart. In a world where machines can calculate faster than us, analyze better than us, and even learn faster than us, what makes us irreplaceable? The answer is creativity. As automation and AI continue to take over routine tasks, what remains uniquely is our ability to think differently, solve problems creatively, and adapt to change. And that's exactly what today's theme highlights: the purpose of work, creativity as the most valuable skill. Whether it's law or management, creativity is no longer just an added advantage, it has become a necessity. And to guide us deeper into this idea, we are truly honored to have with us someone who exemplifies excellence, expertise, and innovation in the field of law. Before we move forward, allow me to take a moment to introduce the institution that has made this event possible. Geeta Ratan International Business School, established in 2004, GIBS has been a beacon of academic excellence and professional development. Affiliated with Guru Gobind Singh University, Delhi, and approved by the All India Council for Technical Education and the Bar Council of India, GIBS offers a range of distinguished programs including MBA, MBA International Business, MBA Integrated, BBA Honours, BLLB Honours, BALLB Honours, and LLM. With an unwavering commitment to education and research, GIBS has consistently been recognized for its excellence and has been rated A by NAC in its third cycle. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude for today's esteemed guest of honor, Advocate Mr. Avinash Sharma, an advocate on record in the Supreme Court of India since 2014. Sir has begun practicing law since 2006, specializing in litigation, arbitration, and competition law. He has also served as panel counsel for the Competition Commission of India and is associated with several prestigious institutions. He has represented clients across more judicial and quasi-judicial bodies, including the Supreme Court, High Court, NCLT, and NCLAT, with his work reflected in numerous reported judgments. Academically, he has been associated with renowned institutions such as Harvard Law School and the Hague Academy of International Law, and has received several national and international awards. So, we are truly honored to have you us today. Now, without taking much time, I would like to invite Mr. Avinash Sharma to share his valuable insights with us.
Thank you, Arun, for your kind remarks. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, so World Creativity and Innovation Week, right? That's a day we are celebrating, and we are supposed to talk about the purpose of work. That's a topic which has been we have chosen to discuss, and within that, the purpose of work, what we are trying to discuss, creativity and the most valuable skill. Now just do take fragmentation of this, and please interrupt me at any point of time for any question, any clarification, any projection, any kind of introduction. Please do it. I don't intend to make it a lecture so that I am speaking for 1 hour and then we have to go back for questioning. So just feel free to ask anything at any point of time. I would be most welcoming any kind of question. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
So the purpose of work. We all do some kind of work every day, right? As a law student, as a faculty, as a practitioner, as a judge, as a officer, whatever we do, right? Or supporting staff, we all are supposed to do certain things every day, which we, as a human being, have some kind of work, right? So even as today, when we are pursuing something, when we are sitting in classroom, when we are sitting in library, or we are doing some internship, at the end of the day, we are working, right? It is altogether different aspect. That the student may say that we are studying, we are not working, right? But scientifically, right? We are actually working. Anybody in this world is trying to do something. It could be paid work. It could be unpaid work. It could be, you can imagine as a student that, okay, we are studying, so we are not working, we are just concentrating on our studies. But again, that is a problem. Somebody, a lawyer, the question is they do work and they get the remuneration, they get the fee, they get the unpaid, right? But it may be even unpaid. So the paid or not paid is the altogether different aspect. The first thing we need to understand that what we all are doing is working. Even interactive session which we intend to do in the next 1 hour will also work. Now the question is, we must ask ourselves at all point of time, what is the purpose of this work? Because that is very important. Somebody who is unemployed, even that person is doing something from morning to evening. So that we need to ask, what is this purpose of work? And that we need to constantly reminding ourselves that what we intend to do, right? So here, the issue of creativity comes in. So the first, while working, okay, we are working. When we are working, then we need to figure out what is the purpose of what might be the rationale, why I am doing it. That is something we must always ask, whatever we do, right? So the purpose, if we are aware of the purpose, supposing you have come to the law school today, right? So the purpose is what? To attend the class, to meet your friends, to sit in the library, to interact with the faculty, to attend some lecture, to attend some seminar, or anything. So we must ask ourselves that what is the purpose of coming to the law school, right? One might say, why we are going to law school, so the purpose is very clear. We all want to become a law graduate. Now we should ask yourself, in order to become law graduate, it is necessary to come to the law school, it is necessary to clear the exposure exam, it is necessary to participate in XYZ co-curricular activities, say group or seminar or presentation or viva or whatever. So purpose we must always keep in mind. If there is no purpose, most of the time we end up doing nothing in sense of purpose. Even if we do, and if we don't do anything, even then we are doing something. But then that becomes aimless. When there is no purpose, then we end up questioning ourselves that what we have done today. Okay? So, purpose has to be keep in mind at all point of time that why I am doing it, what I am doing it, for whom I am doing it, what I am going to do, and who is doing it. Since we are doing it, so it is important to understand this purpose. Now, so the purpose of work is always there. Right? By and large, even if we inform ourselves, even if we don't communicate ourselves, by and large we are aware of one purpose. So what purpose? Whatever we do, we are doing. Now, here, if we are aware of this, if we are conscious of the fact that what we are going to do, then the question of creativity comes. Right? So creativity is something which will come once you are aware of what is the purpose. If you are aware of the purpose, then you try to do it on everyday basis, every hourly basis, every weekly basis, monthly basis. So then something which we do every day, then we start calling it, oh, it's a me. Because it's a me, it's a part of my daily habit that I'm coming to law school every day, I'm attending 4, 5, 6 classes, and then I'm also doing some research in the library, I'm getting jobs done, or I'm meeting my faculty. The faculty will say, my role is, okay, you come to the law school to teach students. So the primary purpose would be the teaching. There could be other purpose as well. It could be research, it could be evaluation, it could be monitoring, it could be tutoring, it could be guiding, It could be any kind of mentoring. It could be a kind of collaboration where the faculty people collaborate and they try to produce some kind of article or research paper or some kind of art-making, peer-reviewed, some kind of article. So we all are aware of what we are doing in the routine manner. Now, the question of creativity will come when we try to do whatever we do in our life, try to become creative. Now, what is this creativity? Whatever we do, we learn every day. Why the focus should be on creativity? And why we talk about this innovation? Right? We all understand what we do, whatever we want to do. But how come innovation and creativity is coming to the picture? Anybody wants to just make any comment so far? Okay, so creativity, or I would say the innovation, just try to understand as a lawyer, as a law student, this creativity and the innovation, we won't be finding any kind of the basis, any kind of, I would say, law actually is not encouraging you to do innovation or creativity. Law, to a great extent, will try to regulate that innovation or try to regulate that creativity. But by itself, law is not going to allow you, law is not going to encourage you to do any kind of creativity or innovation. The people who is having a background of say intellectual property, they will say that if I do some innovation, there are laws, say copyright or the patent or the trademark or the edition or self-conductor or industrial design of any kind of. But it is not actually, if you have done it, nobody is saying that you should do it. Once you have done it, then certain legal regime will come into the force. For example, the person is writing a piece of paper, and person may say, I have a copyright over it. Somebody may be very creative, somebody may create some kind of particular job of anything, law firm or say law school or university or say any institution or any organization. So what you try to do? You have done some kind of creativity, right? So the law is there to protect. The law is there to regulate. You can say copyright if you have made something expensive, feature, design type of thing, a particular logo. You will say, I will get protection under say the trademark. Or you may have come out with some invention, some kind of innovation which is having a utility, or which may have some kind of industrial application. So if you satisfy the criteria of getting a patent, be the process or be the product, the definition which we have in section 2 of the patents. So if you are doing some kind of thing, you may get protection under the patents. Now, what all these patents or say copyright or the trademark or something is doing, it is actually regulating, it is regulating and protecting something which we have done as a human being. Right? Now, the question is, really, the law is encouraging you to do it? One scholars may argue that the very incentive of giving this protection under different IP regime, different intellectual property regime is and incentivizing you to do something, and what you get in return, you get protection under the copyright act, you may have a protection in the trademark act, you may have a protection in the patents act for the next 20 years, right? The copyright may have a life of the 60 years. Trademark, it can go perpetually. So, certain kind of trade-off, you will find that something which you are in a position to do as a creative mind, the law is there to protect it, the law is there to regulate it. somebody may try to say that we're trying to do it in a very efficient manner. Supposing, take for example, that today we have to attend this lecture, we have an option to come to the hospital, okay? And we also have the purpose of it. Then we try to figure out whether I am trying to become creative. Now, take a advancement of technological evolution. 30 years back, we were not having kind of a Google when we were in law school. Something trying to find out on Google was regarded as very, very efficient. It is very, very creative that if I am in a position to find out something on, say, from Google, so it is regarded as even typing on the computer was regarded as something as a good tool. People used to have a highlighter and then the computer key, when we were in law school, we were in 1 and 2. I still remember most of us, rather none of us in the classroom was having a computer. So we used to go to the, say, some cyber cafe or some computer shop and try to get things typed, right? For the purpose of assignment or say research or project report or something. I still remember when I was in my first semester, I was preparing an assignment on Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And the first semester as it was clear law student, when we were not even aware of this concept of copy and paste. But we learned that okay, you can type on when you do the cyber cafe, you can type also. I still remember I spent almost a week going to the nearby cyber cafe for 2 hours and 3 hours a day. And what I was doing is very funny. What I was doing, I took one book from the library and I found there is a Universal Declaration of Human Rights running into 6, 7, 8 pages. So for the whole 1 week, I put that book in front of the computer and I was typing it. So I must have spent 15 to 20 hours for that typing Universal Declaration of Human Rights from the full computer, and I make a few lines here and there and submitted it to my teacher. I passed the exam, I got the whatever grade. But keep in mind, what skill I learned, at least to type on the computer, I was not aware of. You can go to the Google. After first semester, in second semester, you have to know if you find something on Google, you copy it and paste it in your MS Word. That learning came to me when I was in my second semester. Right? So I realized the 15 hours which I spent on typing something on computer, it was the most stupid things to do. One day go to the Google, copy a particular text, running into 4 pages or 400 pages, and you paste it on your desktop. So I would say that creativity which came to me from first semester to second semester, it is very stupid to type on this typing. If you are simply typing the text, this is very copy and paste, you will go it will have a job. So what I was doing for 15 hours will be absolutely stupid things to do. But you will become creative once instead of doing this writing, I can do 48 days. And even if I spend out of those 15 hours, even 5 hours analyzing that and trying to provide my input to text, the primary text which I was reading. So that was something creativity come in the second semester that I learned copy and paste. Now come back to 2026. If today, any one of us, let's assume we are supposed to deliver a lecture on this universal definition of human rights. By and large, most of the stuff which we intend to speak is already there in the public domain. Right? So it is not something that I must go to the library and we must get that universal definition of human rights in the physical form and try to read it. What is that law? How that law has evolved? How different views has commented on that text? And this is applicable to anything that we do. The people who will make commentary on it, the people who has critically examined it. So forget about those typing, forget about those computer, forget about those. If you do today, any kind of device which you do, be it a computer or be it a laptop or be it a phone, it all are there in that. As a media practitioner, we need to figure out how to use this technology, how to make ourselves more creative, right? We are working fine with the purpose, it is fine. We must be creative. And the creativity is something which has to remain constant. Meaning that every time we need to innovate something which I was doing in 15 hours, just trying to write the text, using AI, I can use the same thing, I can bring better output in 1 hour. So we need to ask ourselves, out of the routine life, something, if I can do the same stuff, I am reducing time. If I want to reduce the time, we understand we have to do some innovation. Anything, any wonderful thing which has happened to the humanity is by way of some kind of innovation, all kind of invention, all kind of product, or any kind of process. And the end of the day, it's a product of some kind of innovation which has been done by somebody who was not interested, I would say who was lazy, not to do the same thing in the most routine manner the way we understand. It's a very simple. I'll give you another example. Around 25 years ago, when I was in law school, so one student in the class is going to prepare the notes, who is having a good handwriting. And most of us, classmates, is going to do and going to do that jobs. We photocopy that notes, we being circulated to everybody in the classroom. The idea was, okay, in order to pass the exam, somebody had to prepare a very good note. So everybody should get benefit of it. So it was also on the basis of reciprocity. So one student is sharing his or her notes in particular subject, another student is also going in some different subject, some third student will try to prepare that notes on something else. And then we end up circulating all these notes to outside. Today, whether that is the position, the answer is no. I told you about 25 years ago, just go 5 years ago, 30 years or 35 years. When we don't have this concept of, say, jobs, so the people end up getting their notebook and a pen and try to either note it down, right? Or borrow that notebook for 2 days so that he or she can memorize it. Then we have this jobs. Then we have something called WhatsApp, in which you are just making a note in 20 days and you are circulating it to everybody. So you don't go to the Xerox shop, you don't get the note to the stack and you use it. Now come to the present days. So any exam, you try to get a sense from the head knowledge. And what is head knowledge? Some expert has already applied his or her mind and tried to figure out what the journey is about. Now, today, with the help of technology, you have a judgment comes at 10:30 by the Supreme Court. At 10:40, you can get a summary of that judgment. And you can try to figure out what are the key points, what are the key arguments, what are the key takeaways, which are the judgments that are overruling, which are the judgments which are being distinguished in this particular piece. So that actually you can get by using all these kinds of technological innovation which we have over the decades. Right? Now, coming next, the question is whether this technology can supersede our brain. My own assessment is the answer is no. These technology, be any kind of technology which we are technological advances. For example, these AI tools may be important for our research. It could be good for our teaching. It could be good for preparing notes. It could be good for any kind of writing. It could be good even for the purpose of judgment writing or award writing. But please keep in mind, whosoever is preparing that text, whatever technology we are using it, at the end of the day, the person who is author of that is responsible. So I may not have a time to do much research on some topic, so I have taken the help of this AI. So I have prepared some kind of say petition or some kind of recipe or some kind of soup or training. Using this technology I will prepare it. But when I am presenting it to the judge or participate or legal notice giving it to on behalf of your client or somebody, or let's assume I am using all these technology to come out with research paper. At the end of the day, since it is coming from me, I am the responsible for whatever written input. So, let's assume that I have written a word, and I have written a joke, or I have written a say, input. At the end of the day, when the author, lawyer, when he is attending court, or say academician who is presenting the results in front of say in a peer review or say before 10 or 20 or 30 scholars, or an author who is writing a book and who is taking help of these technologies. At the end of the day, that person, it's a whole and sole responsibility of that person because he is the author of it. So he can't write something, perhaps even if he has written, he must be in a position to support, he must be in a position to reason out what he has written in his text. It is not that we write something and then we follow it. If I have written a petition using all this technology, what would be the query of the judge? Right? I must be aware of. But I have written, I must be aware. In these days we are finding a lot of people that are using AI and they will do imaginary case law. Right? Imaginary case law means X versus Y, we don't know the citation, we don't know actually that case actually exists or not. But for the sake of the precedent, what we have created some judgment as pure treatment of litigation, which did not substantiate anything. So supposing I am writing this in any article, you go before the judge. And the judge is in a position to figure out whether a particular citation which I have given, it's completely erroneous, it doesn't exist, it is pure treatment of litigation. So it is not that pure mistake on the part of the lawyer or the student. at the end of the day, whatever we write, it is some total of what you know. And it is not just about the lawyers or the law students. We are coming out with a situation in which we have a judgment in which honorable judges have written certain citation, certain case law, which doesn't exist at all. So the mistake which we primarily find that in the law school we have all those intelligent software, we have many things to check and figure out that something which we have written, if we are not able to substantiate it, if we are not able to find out it is correct or not, the entire burden is on the person who is preparing it. Right? So in the law especially, whatever we prepare, it could be one page letter, it could be a petition, it could be an award, it could be anything. At the end of the day, the person who is making it is responsible. That person cannot take refuse that I have used XYZ technology or algorithm or kind of the artificial intelligence. So that has put me in that trouble. So keep in mind, as compared to any other professional, anybody who is doing law, anybody that person is preparing, or anything that person is speaking or reading, that must reflect the sum total of his expertise, his competence, his integrity, his creativity, his innovation. One can't simply make a statement or write something without even realizing that what you have written, what you have drafted, or what you have written. So it's a very simple. The person who is making it needs to be held accountable, and that is indeed the case. More and more technology we are going to have it through, more and more things we are going to find creative in nature. You see, it's very simple. It's something which is being done in a routine manner. And if I am able to do, if one can say that I am doing it smartly, so people may say, oh, this person is very creative. So what is this creativity? Something which is being done in the most routine manner by others. If I am able to do it by some kind of, say, innovation, some kind of industrial application, and some kind of thing which has not been done in the past. So that is what the creativity is going to bring, and that is what the technology is all about. It's a very simple. These machines, these technology, these available are there to support us, right? In whatever we do, in communicative function, in investigative function, in some kind of research, in some kind of making a empirical study, in anything. But then, at the end of the day, human will remain the master. It's a very simple. We are using this technology to have this kind of lecture. But we are the master of it. By click of a button, we can do it. These machines cannot control us, right? That we must speak from the mouth. These machines can't tell us that I must provide A, B, C, D, E in my lecture. Because we do not. The natural human intelligence, right? And this artificial intelligence, we just try to understand from this perspective, the biggest danger is the more human intelligence is being stupid, more and more artificial intelligence is being analyzed. It's a conversely related to each other. I'm giving a very short example. We all have become accustomed of using the Google Map. Prior to that, when this technology was not there, we used to be aware of how to go to one place to another place. Right? And what we used to keep this technology. When mobile phones were not there, people used to have at least 10, 50, 20 different numbers, telephone numbers become so much so technologically dependent. Right? We can technology, the way we have a definition, we often say the Patents Act. So, if I am able to do it, I am giving this technology to the society, I am giving the benefit for the next 20 years, and they patent holder. But I am giving it to the society for this trade-off that okay, after 20 years it will remain open. So whatever skill I have used in order to get that technology, that is going to come into the public domain after 20 years. So that the society should also get benefit. But at the same time, since I am the inventor, since I am the originator, since I am the author of that idea, so for the next 20 years, I must get some kind of reward. Some kind of reward in terms of money, in terms of recognition, in terms of sales policy, in terms of anything. But okay, I have to do this. So in that sense, the innovation will always there in order to create it. And so coming back to the topic, the creativity intensity involves some kind of innovation, which we do every day, but we are trying to figure out something special, which we are able to achieve by doing this kind of creativity. Right? Any question so far? I suspect I just have 5 minutes, so I would be happy to answer the questions. So far I don't find any comment, any suggestion, any interjection or any kind of question. So I would be more than happy if I can take 2 questions.
So we'll be having a Q&A session just after this. So students may ask questions in that.
Avinash Kumar, if you can be a bit louder, we are not able to hear you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, can you share us a one-real example of unethical practice in business and how it was implemented?
Okay, unethical practice in what? Adult writing or
Sir, in business, in general businesses like Volkswagen, etc.
okay, unethical practice could be, for example, it's a very simple. You go to the library, you pick out the book, right? You write 2 pages by quoting it from that book, answer anything, and then you tell your teacher that this is what is your original idea. When this idea is already there, when whatever you have written in 1 page or 2 pages, it is already there in some book, and then you say, I have not taken that from that any book. It is my original idea, right? Unethical practice would be, ethical practice would be, if you sign that note, okay, I have gone through this exercise, either your Apache or whatever book you have, right? And from that book, that edition, that page number, I have taken this one wonderful product and I am really subscribing it. It's a good, and I have understood that it's a really something worth noting. This is really worth examining. This is worth discussing. You have taken a particular book, one para from say something. Or let's take a situation that you have taken one para from some judgment, rendered by some theory. And you have used it. In academic teaching and the research, what we have understood is that there is nothing wrong putting it. What you need to do in that para, you start with the inverted comma and you finish with the inverted comma and say cited in XYZ marker, book so and so, page number so and so, finish research. And once you have done that, you know that you can have your own thought in your own way, in your own language, under subscribing it, distinguishing it, not agreeing with it, partially agreeing with it, or saying it is a stupid idea because of A, B, C, D, E. It will do it. That's So this would be ethical. But if you don't do it, you have taken a particular protocol as a non-practical. And you say, this is my original idea, I have spent 2 days thinking about it. And then I have written this. And then you are not giving any kind of credits whatsoever on where you have found it. So that will tend to amount to be unethical. It's a very simple. In a research, if you are copying from a particular source, you say is a tradition. But if you have taken the evidence of 20 different books, 10 different books, and saying that this thought has also been said by A, B, C, D, E, to be recognizing your purpose. That this view has been expressed by this so this book, in such a judgment, also this judgment, and these are the 5 people who have also commented on this thought in the past. So that will be regarded as scholarly writing, because you are having a backward honesty of recognizing something which has been said in the past, by author A, author B, or author C. So I hope I will be able to make that distinction between ethical writing and non-ethical writing. Any reaction from you?
Yes, sir, I understand. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comment, suggestion, interjection, reaction, or anything by anybody?
So we have a Q&A session right here. So just students may
Okay.
ask this question.
Just leave the problem.
Yes, sir. So, first of all, thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful
Your voice is not able to hear it. You can just make it louder. Yes, now I can hear.
Sir, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Sir, I just wanted to ask that in today's world, artificial intelligence has emerged as an essential tool, but today's generation is simply overusing it. Earlier, by natural process, ideas and creativity comes to their mind. But in today's world, students are simply putting a prompt on artificial intelligence that how to do this particular thing. So you think that there should be a limit set on artificial intelligence for that particular purpose?
You see, the answer would be, you are not judge restriction on technology. You must have to understand. Technology, be it AI or be it a Google or be it a computer or be it any kind of technology, each technology will always remain ahead of the revolution of the world. Technological innovation of the particular algorithm or AI that we are talking, it will always remain one step ahead of lawmakers. It will remain one step ahead of, say, policymakers and those who are trying to prepare some kind of law or regulation. And the judiciary will, of course, be remain behind for sure. So the technological challenges is going to come fast. So if you say that there should be some kind of restriction, you can't have a restriction. At the same time, you can have regulation. And I'm just giving you an example. Let's assume I have given, let's assume I have given you to prepare a research paper or say assignment, right? Say one basic question of the constitution. Let's take it this way. I'll ask you that please prepare a card, please, or something. Then what do you do by basic structure? Or I get a sheet, you go into the library, you spend a couple of hours, you try to understand that concept, you try to read through your papers, then you are writing that. Another idea would be to just use ABC beyond technology, and within 10 minutes, you are giving me a wonderful, say, piece on summary of say, basic structure. Now, I, as a faculty, must try to figure out from where I started my lecture. The purpose of that is, we have done what? We have spent 5 hours library, or we have said 5 minutes on AI, and we have got this structure. But I, as a faculty, and you as a student, must have an idea that what the purpose of this assignment, the purpose of this work was, the student must be aware of what this AI technology it could be. So even if you have done search on COI, so I told you that AI could be good, AI could be a good assistant, but AI can't be a master. So if I ask you a question, that the basic structure topic which I asked you to look at an assignment, how many judgment or how many supplementary or accepted, how many tables you have? If I'm asking, and what you have understood by this basic structure, or can you just give me an example of what would be the, according to you, would be the part of basic structure, safety, verification, rule of law, data privacy, right? All these things. But if in order to answer this question, if you have not understood this question, you have just looked at that no, then it's not good. You have got, but the purpose has been completely deficient.
अब से उसमें भी हो रही है
So the lecture which I told you, the thinking that we are going, but we must understand the purpose of it. So that purpose is getting completed if we have got 4 out of 5, because we have never been using all these technology. But when in the body I am asking you a single particular question, and if you don't have an answer, so then it's a very simple. The purpose was not to learn that topic, the purpose was to somehow give that assignment and get marks and clear it. So the purpose was not of that learning that. I hope I am making that point very clear. So this methodology is here to assist us, they can't be master of us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other question, comment, suggestion, interjection? So I think we can wind up. It was wonderful to be part of any Moscow initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a...
Those who are interested may just write an email or text me at any point of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful and inspiring session. Your words have truly given us a new perspective on how creativity shapes careers. As we have winded up the Q&A session, now we come to an end of this session. So I would like to invite Pavel ma'am for vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf
Can
of
we get louder? I cannot hear. Dr. Paul, I think.
good afternoon, everyone. Is that audible, sir, now?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Vidakan International Business School, I, Dr. Sharma, extend my heartfelt thank you to all who made the event success. My special thanks to our resource person, Dr. Avinash Sharma, for your valuable time and insightful words. We are truly honored by your presence, sir. And finally, thank you to our wonderful audience for your presence and participation. Let's carry the spirit of today forward. Thank you again and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel ma'am. As we come to an end of the session, I would like to thank our esteemed guests, respected faculty members, and all the participants for joining this session. On behalf of IIC International Business School, I extend my sincere gratitude to everyone present here. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Also fill the feedback form.
Guys, also fill the feedback form. Those who have not
Necessary for
filled.
attendance.
And you may need
You
now.
all have to fill up the feedback form for attendance to be marked for the event. Today only.
Everyone means everyone.
Okay, ma'am.
Feedback.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone. You may